Hey everybody, I wanted to pop back in and talk about my CAC scan, coronary artery calcium scan. I had that done on Tuesday, and if you watched my last video, you could tell how completely freaked out I was about that. I did it. I drove there all by myself. Sure did. Went into the scan, went into the tube, and had my scan done. You coming up? Okay. Prayed the whole time that I was in there that it would be 0. Knowing deep in my heart that it was more than likely not going to be 0, given my family history and 5.5 decades of eating the standard American diet with highly processed food, carb heavy, all the things. And why does my voice sound shaky? I'm not nervous. Hey, Mr. Man, my big boy. More time eating the standard American shit diet versus a real whole food, low carb diet. And then recently, within the last, 4 weeks, an actual keto diet. I knew my score wasn't going to be the best, but I really was hoping for 0. And it was not. My score was 45.1, so I have what is considered mild calcification of my arteries. I'll tell you what the experience was like, and then we'll talk about the actual test results later. Called to set up my appointment. I was immediately told that insurance probably would not pay for it, and that it's going to be $130 out of my pocket. Cool, no problem. I have no problem doing that whatsoever. Don't have to worry about, it's not like an MRI where you have to worry about metal things, although when I got in the tube, they wanted to know if I had an underwire bra on. I guess that would show up, and maybe I would have had to take that off. I didn't have to take off my clothes. I didn't have to put on a robe. I even I started to take my sandals off, and she's like, you can leave them on. And I'm like, okay. The bed thing that you lay on was not comfortable at all. Now, I've had a CT scan before, and I've had an MRI before, and they make those comfortable, but this thing, not comfortable. Like, all the curves hit me in the wrong spot, or the dips and stuff. So I don't know if I just wasn't positioned in there right, but whatever. It literally took 3 minutes tops. So you get on the table thing, and they put you in this donut, which is open on both ends. It's not a tube that you go in. I took a Xanax. Yes, I did, because I didn't want to get in there and freak out. And I'm very claustrophobic. So got in, and I told them, I said, look, I'm super claustrophobic, and I'm trying super hard not to freak out, but I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm not going to open my eyes until you guys tell me that I'm out and it's safe to open my eyes. Because if I open my eyes and I see anything in front of my face, I'm going to freak out. And she's like, well, your head doesn't even go in. I'm like, that's cool, but all of me is still in the tube with just my dome sticking out, and then your arms are over your head. So that was slightly helpful, but you're still you go in up to here-ish, I think. I didn't look. But I could tell when they buzzed me in the tube, and then they asked me a question, and I had to answer, I could hear my voice bounce right back to my ears, so I knew that my face was like right by that thing. So I was like, just be cool. And I'm like focusing so hard. Close your eyes, close your eyes. Keep your eyes closed. Keep them closed. Just keep them closed. And they just wanted to open in the worst way. What the flip? Anyway, let me back up here. They put 4 stickers on you and some wires, which from what I understand is EKG stuff. So it monitors your heart so that it can time taking a scan with a particular level of your heartbeat so that they get a super clear image. That's how I understand it. No one explained that to me. I had to research that shit on my own. Maybe most people don't care. And then there's me. Okay, so you have 4 stickers on you. They had a hard time getting the stickers to stick to me, of course, probably because I had put lotion on that morning. Got them stuck to me, so like 2 up here and then two down here under the girls. And then they slide you into the tube and then do some things. So then the tube seemed to go in, and then it came back out, and then it went in, and it came back out. And I think it only did that twice. So literally, I was laying down on the table in the tube for not even a minute, but in the whole procedure maybe took 3 minutes. So I feel like if I can do it, other people can do it too. If you're claustrophobic like me, it's okay. You can do it. It's a good thing. It's good to know. You don't get your results there, but here in our medical system, we use my chart. Maybe everybody does. I don't know. I had my results same day for sure, maybe a couple hours later. Got my results, and I was gonna try to film it, and I was like, I'm not even trying to set up my camera. I need to see this. I was gonna try to film the whole thing because I thought that would be cool, to show me going up there talking about my feelings on the way and stuff. But it was too big of a deal for me to try to focus on filming a video, and I just needed to focus on myself. So that's what I did. So I got my score, and now what does that mean? To me, that means that I am going to continue doing actual keto. And then next year, I would like to get another score, another scan, and compare the results. And in a perfect world, magically it would go back to 0. That'd be great. I would love that. If that can't happen, my second wish would be that it reduces a little bit. Now, I've only heard one doctor, and that's the guy that invented this scoring system, say that you cannot reverse the calcium in your arteries. He said that's impossible. But every other doctor that's reading calcium scans, and every other low-carb doctor, keto doctor, says it when they have seen their patients come back with lower scores, and sometimes significantly lower scores, to reversing it. The guy that invented this scoring system said that is probably just taking pictures at a different interval than the original pictures. So what do I think about that? Well, then what's the fucking point? I don't know. Anyway, I guess I'm not gonna. If my number is lower, I'm taking that as a win, and that it is actually reversing. Because if you can reverse all these other metabolic diseases, why not that too? If your body can put calcium there, why can't it take it away? So that's what makes sense to me. I don't know if it's true. We're never going to know, really. And then if that doesn't happen, if my numbers don't increase, if they stay stable, I would also take that as a win. From what I understand also is that normally people see a 10 to 20% a year progression, worsening of their calcification, and that is considered normal. Now, y'all know how I feel about that shit. I'm not down with normal. I'm not down with within range. I want ideal. So ideally, my score will go down. At a minimum, if it stays the same, I'm cool with that. I am not down with normal. I want no part of that increasing of the things. So what I'm going to do going forward is I'm going to continue eating keto. I'm going to continue working out. I have since used the calcium in my arteries as an excuse not to walk the golf course when it was really hot. I'm like, I have hardening of the arteries, so I am going to ride tonight, which I'm doing that to be funny. It's hot. I don't walk when it's that hot because I feel like I'm going to die. Just not a good feeling. This is part of my report. This is just a clip right from my report. And then this is a clip from the internet because I wanted to figure out what these abbreviations meant and where they were located on my heart. So LM is left main. LAD is left anterior descending. CX is circumflex, and I have arrows here because I thought it was these two things, but I actually think it's this stuff back here. But I'm not sure because I'm trying to figure this out on my own. I haven't talked to my doctor yet. So RCA is right coronary artery. That's this big boy right here. And you can see that I have a total of 6 lesions. Look at that though, left main, 0. I like that. This is volume and size, and this is my actual calcium score. And you can see at the bottom, 0 is what you want, 1 to 10 is minimal, 11 to 100 is mild, and that's where I fall. This is what I can share with you. Also in the report was included, this is a screenshot of a PDF, so it's kind of grainy. I don't have access to the actual scans. This is me. I believe this is sternum and ribs. This is a top-down look at my heart, and this is my spine. This is where some calcium deposits are showing up. This is also another area where they're showing up. I'm not really sure what this is all about. I don't know. So that's what you can expect to see if you get a CAC scan. Oh, y'all, I did my first 36-hour fast. I did a 24-hour fast and a 36-hour fast last week. Let's talk about how that was. So the 24-hour fast happened just because I was busy. And actually, the 36-hour did too. I was just so busy. I don't remember why I was so busy on the 24-hour fast. I think I was just doing stuff around the house. Busy, content, happy, not feeling super hungry or anything. So I'm like, man, I think I was like at 20 hours and I thought to myself, you know what, let me just go 24 hours and just see what happens. So I did it. And let me just look at my notes and see what that was like. Here we go, fasting 24 hours. The thing is that up until that point, I was really, really struggling with getting my glucose down, even though I'm eating keto. And I'm getting frustrated. Look at me using a good word instead of pissed, because I was pissed. So I was getting super frustrated. Look at my glucose levels here. Let's see. Blood glucose, 92, 93, 100, 99. It had just been staying around 100 and over 100, according to my CGM, for days. And I couldn't understand why, because I'm still eating low carb keto. So that's pissing me off, because I know that because it's staying that elevated, that I'm still insulin resistant as hell, and I'm doing damage, and I don't want to do damage. Like I said before, I want to live in a glucose range, ideally in the 70s and 80s. And then if I occasionally have something that would spike my glucose, and I'm still talking keto stuff, I'm still like, maybe if I were to, I notice that when I eat my keto fudgesicles, I have a glucose response to that. So if I eat something like that, then it's not going to spike over 100. It's going to, maybe go into the 90s and then come right back down. The thing is with me is that right now, when I spike, I stay up. And I'm hesitant to call it spiking because in the real world, spiking is way in the 120s and 30s and up to 300s and, really, really high. My glucose still stays fairly level, but it's not in the range that I want it to be in, which is causing damage, and I don't want that. It's causing damage to my arteries. It's keeping my blood pressure elevated. I don't want that. So that was the whole point of saying to myself, well, I'm already at 20 hours into a fast. Let's just go 24 and see what happens. So I did that. I felt great. I could literally, I had so much energy. That's the beauty of ketosis. You're not like, oh, you don't have the carb crash. You have more energy, mental clarity. I was just like firing on all cylinders. I was, got all kinds of projects done. Couldn't tell you what they are right now, but I remember just thinking, man, this is great. So I checked my glucose to 78. Yay, 78. That's where I want to live. And then the next day, surprisingly, my glucose, first thing in the morning, I take it first thing in the morning, was 93. I can't really complain about that. I did eat, and I probably ate a lot. And I'm pretty sure I only had that one meal. Yeah, what I have? I had fried eggs, 2 fried eggs, cheese, cucumber with dressing, sausage, cheesecake fluff, olives. I had some fat snacks, crackers with salsa, and it was super satisfying. So I wrote on here that it felt so good and that I fasted 24 hours. So my my blood ketones after the fast were at 1.8, and they were still 1.8 in the morning after that. And then each day they went down a little bit. My blood glucose was 93 the day after the fast, and then subsequently it was 87, and then it was back up to 94. Anyway, it ended up kind of incrementally creeping up, and I'm not exactly sure why, but it got to a point that it was staying at around 100 even when I wasn't eating. So again, that's insulin resistance right there, and I'm not exactly sure why. Could it be that I was eating a lot of cheesecake fluff with sweetener in it? Maybe. I'm not sure I had that same glucose response with the peanut butter fluff that I was eating the week before. I don't know. Maybe those alternative sweeteners. Well, I know they're not a friend, not something that you want to use all the time. But I think it's a great tool to get you where you need to be by eliminating sugar in your diets. So I don't know if I'm having more of a glucose response to them than normal people. Of course, I'm certain that I'll be abnormal. Sure. Anyway, so I did the 24-hour fast, got through that, pretty proud of it. And then a few days later, I had a situation where I was going to not be home and not have access to my good, clean food. And I just thought, you know what? By the time I would have been able to sit down and have a meal, it would have been kind of, not late, but maybe, around 6 in the evening. And I thought, you know what? I'm only going to be awake for, 4 more hours, so why not just try a 36-hour fast? For my schedule, it just worked out as something to try. And then I started getting hungry around 5 or 6 at night. Now, when you're in ketosis and you get hungry, it's just a normal hunger feeling. Like I'm hungry right now. It's not a ravenous, hangry, I have to eat something right away. That's a sugar burner's response. I'm a fat burner. See you, sir. Oh yeah, there's a string to play with. So it's a very different hunger experience. So I started getting hungry around 5 or 6, and Dr. Boz said that to put a little bit of salt on your tongue when you get hungry, and that will calm that down. So I thought, okay, well, I'll try it, because it's not a horrible feeling anyway. So what I did is just put salt in my water, and then I was just going to sip on that, like as not an electrolyte, like powdered electrolyte mix, but just, salt has minerals and stuff in it. So I just threw some in my water and was drinking that. Probably put too much in there. I also put a little bit of salt in my coffee. I had some decaf coffee that evening, which was very helpful, but I put some salt in that, and then at one point I was just like, oh my God, my body was just like, girl, that is too much salt. That's nasty. So then I just switched to drinking regular water the next day before I broke my fast. So I was 36 hours into my fast and started making some food and stuff, and I thought, I never weighed myself directly before the fast, but I weighed myself immediately after the fast, and I flipping gained 1.2 pounds. Pissed. I was like, what in the actual F is going on here? I'm like, who is ever going to want to fast if you don't see a benefit? I know fasting is more than just weight, but I was like, come on, man, that's not even cool. Anyway, gained 1.2 pounds. Pissed. Complain to anybody who would listen and who understands keto and fasting and stuff like that. Then I'm in the evening, I'm, watching TV, relaxing, doing my thing, and I noticed that I was peeing like every 20 minutes. Like full on, gotta go, every 20 minutes. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And that lasted all damn night long until I went to bed. And I got up 3 or 4 times in the night to pee too. I'm like, what is up? Well, I'm guessing that I put too much sodium in my water and just retained all of the water that I was drinking. I don't know. Or it takes me, because I got to be different, a whole day after fasting to get rid of the inflammation. I don't know. But anyway, the next morning, after all the whole evening's worth and overnight's worth of peeing, I hopped on the scale, and then I lost the 1.2 pounds that I gained during fasting, plus a pound. So I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. That makes me feel a little bit better, but it was weird. It was a weird experience. And I will definitely do it again. What I liked about it is the energy, the mental clarity. You just get shit done when you're fasting and you're in ketosis. It's great. I love that. Like, I was just knocking stuff off a list that I didn't even know I had. It was fantastic, for real. I think I'm going to try to do it like a 36-hour fast, maybe every other week. And I'll just see where it fits into my schedule the best. Because really, if you think about it, it's not like you're going a whole day and a half. Because you have 2 sleep cycles in there. So that's knocking 16 hours off right there. And maybe I'm just used to fasting because I fast 18 hours every day anyway. I don't know. The health benefits far exceed the few hours of discomfort that you have being hungry. Because I'll share this with you too, is that when I got to hour number 23-ish, the hunger stopped and it did not return for me. Now, had I gone longer than 36 hours, would the hunger return? Probably, yeah. But at hour 23-ish, and I was paying pretty close attention, the hunger stopped. And then I just felt normal when I went to bed. But I woke up, I didn't feel hungry when I woke up. I didn't feel hungry. Like, even when I was starting to prepare the meal that I was going to have to break my fast, even when I was preparing that, I didn't feel like hunger pangs. I just felt great. I'm like, this is cool. And then I even thought, should I go a little bit longer? And I just didn't. I wanted to eat because I like to eat. So there's that. So that worked out good. That 36-hour fast, I think both of those fasts really helped knock down my glucose levels. And I am not wearing my CGM right now because I was going to go in the tube and get the CT scan, and I feel like I read in my pamphlet that can alter that or wreck it or make it inaccurate. So I chose to take this week off from the CGM, and I need that little break, because I'm getting a little bit obsessed with it. I'm checking my glucose first thing in the morning and then somewhere later in the evening if I feel like checking it or if I think about it. And it's definitely taken many, many points off my glucose levels, which I am stoked about that. Okay, well, that's the update on the calcium. God dang it. That's the update on my coronary artery calcium scan/score. We'll see what next year brings with that, and hopefully it's good news. I highly recommend, I'll just say it again, for people who really want to take control of their health and know where they're at and get good information so that they can choose a path and get direction that's actually going to do good for them, which is not eating sugar, grains, the standard American diet, highly processed food. Ask your doctor if you're not getting them. Ask your doctor for an HbA1c, because that tells you what your average glucose is for the last 3 months. It's just one test, one little blood draw. Fasting insulin, I got to shake my doctor down for that because That is critical. Ask for a calcium artery scan. God dang it, a coronary artery calcium scan score, CAC score, CAC scan. Get that. Understand that if your glucose stays elevated 100 or more, damage is happening. So the lower your glucose, the healthier you are, the more your body has time to heal. And in order to keep your glucose low, let food be thy medicine. No sugar, no grains, keep your carbs low. That's one of the reasons why I love keto, is because it's measurable. No other diet out there, no other way of eating out there is measurable. You can get your pee sticks, or you can order a ketone monitor, or there's even the breath one. I don't know, I've never used the breath one, so I can't really speak to that. But pee sticks, you can see if you're in ketosis. Even if you're a little bit in ketosis, that's good for weight, that's good for your diet. But for someone like me who has metabolic issues that they're trying to heal, I want to get deeper into ketosis, so I want to measure that with actual blood levels. So with those tests that I mentioned and living a ketogenic lifestyle, you have actual measurable data that shows you that you are going in the right direction. It's so much, it's more than the scale. It's so much more than the scale. The scale is the least of it. Let food be thy medicine, and I'll see you in the next video.